Hello YouTube. This is my second devlog for my game Townsville. This week we had a lot of squirrels happening, but I've got some stuff to show you. But first, my name is Colin Fisser and I'm an indie game developer. I have made these games. This is the devlog for Townsville number 2. The goal was, for this milestone, we wanted to squish all the bugs that was picked up in the game jam. I'm pleased to say that we did most of them, all the core big ones. But I got kinda sidetracked, as I normally do. One of my testers said to me that the game is not running on mobile. Turns out that there is a problem with Godot 3.3, that it crashes sometimes on the browser. But I didn't know this, and I went down a couple of rabbit holes to try and fix this problem. Turns out that it's just a matter of closing Chrome on the Android phone and restarting it. But it is a bit annoying. This is the risk that you have with open source software and also with stuff that is in development. You are going to have problems that come up. Now, this particular issue actually comes from Chrome browser, and it has been patched out, so you shouldn't have this issue going forward as long as you keep your Android phone to the latest version. But that also got me thinking and working on the idea of getting it so that it's touch sensitive. So now the game is playable on your phone. You can scroll left and right, you can build buildings, and you can complete the game from your phone. Even though it was a bit of a sidetrack, I think ultimately I wanted to get that mobile experience working. So this little bit was quite useful. Besides from the squirrels that happened getting the mobile version, we managed to get 2 changes done. Fighters now do not stack or go over each other. They now move into the correct place and they face the correct direction depending on which wall they are on. So from a user perspective it looks a lot better. I did get game uploaded to gameofthemonth.io. Gameofthemonth.io is a Godot specific game hosting site. The user experience on their system is a lot better than from itch.io. That's why I uploaded to them. I also created a fan page for Townsville on Game Jolt, and I'll be pushing the devlogs and trying to create a little bit of interest for the game on Game Jolt. There's obviously a lot of cards that still need to be sorted out for the previous milestone. I was very optimistic about my abilities and time. I think with game jams it's a lot better because you've only got 48 hours or 72 hours. That's it. You can't think about stuff, reorganize things. You have to get it going. You just have to code it. The original version of Townsville was created quite quickly. Now when I'm adding new features, I'm really thinking about the art from an architectural perspective. Does this particular node need to fit here? Does it make sense? Does the flow work properly? And all of that kind of thinking takes time. So you end up thinking and not doing, whereas in a game jam you're doing and not thinking, which also means that you end up with a lot of code that's not necessarily nice to work with. And that's the other sort of refactoring that I am going through as well. Just neatening up the code base so it's a little bit more logical. But what does that mean? It means that we are behind and we need I don't want to change any of the milestones. I don't think it's a good idea to just sort of reorganize. You should put your due dates and you should work towards them. If you miss them, it's not the end of the world. It's obviously not the best, but you need to try and keep going. So this is what these devlogs are about. They're about my successes and my failures. I don't necessarily mean today the last week was a failure. I think it was very good to do the mobile. However, it does mean that when we look at our milestones and what we need to achieve, we're now behind. So let's hope for a new week doing this as a hobby. My main work it takes priority, so I will fit development of the game in as we're going. Thank you for listening.